I was fighting for Kukuru for a long time to kind of fix things between her and Chiyu, and this episode was like, come on, girl, why do we have to keep doing this? Why are we going further down this rabbit hole? But at least we finally got some closure, it seems, between the two of them. And it was funny because there's always been this contingency in a lot of comments that I've seen between Kukuru and Chiyu. And it was funny because in the first encounter we had between the two of them, my whole thing was trying to defend Kukuru because she's technically just a kid. She's a very immature kid. But now I have to, now I'm defending Chiyu on the other side because everybody hates her. It's like, it's a funny thing. It's a very funny thing. I think, I know that most people probably see the entire picture of the situation. They still have their opinions of the characters, but at the same time, it's one of those aspects of, I guess not giving enough credit to how somebody else affects the other character. But that's my thoughts on episode 16 of Aquatope on White Sand, so let's jump into it. So another of the Gama Gama joined the ranks. I'm just waiting for the old man to join. All of Gama Gama is joining Tingara. We have the doctor is now a part of Tingara. She actually joins. And this is interesting because we finally get an idea of exactly how much time has passed since Gama Gama closed. Roughly only 10 months. Which is kind of surprising. I thought we would have a lot more of a time jump than that. So I'm guessing Fuka literally went to school for that year and then came back to there. That's pretty much the entirety of it. She spent 10 months in school and literally right after school came back there. And yeah, Kukuru basically finished her schooling as well and just went right into Dengara. Because the doctor had her baby just before Gama Gama closed and the baby's only 10 months old. So like I said, at least we finally get a picture of how much time has passed, even though it looks like Kukuru is much more older in the opening segments of the second core, which is kind of sad. Like I said before, I wanted a lot more of a time jump than just that. But yeah, this is when we trigger the main event of this entire story because it seems like Chiyu is a little bit disturbed by the doctor being there. We're not quite sure why. But as we kind of jump forward, we see that, there's this penguin that is obviously about to have its baby. The baby's about to hatch anyways. And they're wanting a lot of the employees to stay overnight in order to watch for the baby to hatch because it's a very important event. It's very important to the aquarium because they're essentially having their first penguin born there, their first child in this particular aquarium. And she was like, no, look, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I can't stay overnight. I told you I can't be flexible with my schedule. And so he's like, okay, that's fine. We'll just find somebody else to do that. That's fine. And this jumps to us finding out, while at the same time, Kukuru is being mad that this uppity Chiyu is getting favoritism, that, yeah, Chiyu has a baby. She has a kid, and she has to take care of that kid after work. She doesn't have a flexible schedule because she's a single parent, and she has to go get her child, take care of her child, and even though, like I said, it seems pretty obvious at that point, Kukuru's taking the perspective that, yeah, this girl's just getting favoritism, and after all this high and mighty talk that Chiyu has, she doesn't take responsibility and take care of the aquarium. I'm like, stop Kukuru, stop Kukuru. But Kukuru takes this as an opportunity of her being able to weasel in there. As one of the other girls, I think it was Akari, was like, well, hey, if you can get that shift, that overnight shift, and do really well, next time they change duties around, you can probably get in there. You can probably take that spot. And so she's like, yeah, cool, I'm going to do that. So she goes to the director of the Penguins and says, hey, can I take over this slot? I'll handle it for Chiyu. I've done this stuff before. I'll handle it. And when Chiyu finds out about this, yeah, she's a little upset. She feels like, obviously, there's no feeling like, she knows Kukuru is trying to take her job. And so she's very upset about this and goes to Kukuru and says, what are you doing? Don't take my job from me. Don't take this from me. This is important to me. Don't take my livelihood, essentially. And Kukuru's a little bit shaken by that because just before then she found out that by a slip of the tongue that, yeah, Chiyu has a kid. And that's why she doesn't take the shifts. She's not a slacking worker. She's trying her hardest and she just can't. Her schedule doesn't allow it. She doesn't have there's no 24-hour daycare. There's no 24-hour daycare. So yeah, following this, pretty much the word gets out to everybody that she has a child. Everybody's starting to kind of confront her. The doctor's like, why didn't you tell anybody? People were willing to help you. And it's kind of an interesting thing because this is where we're getting a perspective of why she kept it a secret. Why she didn't tell anybody, even though all these people are going, well, why didn't you tell me? I would have helped you. We could have supported you. All this kind of stuff. It's because of the experience she's had in her past. As we find out through her conversations with Fuka later on, as Fuka's trying to get to know her more, obviously because it's her boss, technically her her superior in her job. We find out that, yeah, at the age of 18, she obviously graduated, and then she quickly got a job working as an attendant somewhere. Shortly after that, she had a child with a husband. Her schedule kept conflicting with her work, and everybody was supportive of her at first. Everybody supported her, and then eventually at some point, people got upset. People started getting angry because she wouldn't take extra roles. She didn't pull her weight, and eventually they fired her. And then right after this, everything else fell apart. She had family problems, she got divorced. She eventually moved back to Okinawa, and that's when she found out about the job for Tengara, which she studied really hard in order to join. And then that would be pretty much where we met her. She was studying, she got the role, and then she went to go work for Gama Gama in order for this kind of training method, which is kind of concerning because at this point, they've established that she's experienced people being supportive before. She had a previous job where everybody was supportive, and then it went downhill. And so I can see, it's odd that they didn't really show that insecurity. Like, okay, now everybody knows and they're being supportive suddenly, but how long is it going to last? I was really surprised they didn't really point that out. But it was really cute because she ends up having like this, whole situation where she brings the kid to the aquarium and everybody's just kind of showing the kid around. Even the directors there really kind of being supportive as well, which is really cool. But anyways, before that, Kukuru finding out about this and being a little bit upset in the idea, she talks to Fuka on the phone like, she feels bad and she wants to understand her better. Because she knows that Chiyu does love the aquarium. She knows that she has that passion for it. And how to know her better, she decides that she wants to try raising a child. This is the second time we've had some kind of joke around Kukuru having a child. This is the second joke. We're really kind of hinting at something here. But yeah, she ends up kind of having the doctor leave her child with her for 2 whole hours. And yeah, by the time she comes back, Kukuru is like super zapped. It's like 2 hours, that girl's zapped. Don't even try. And yeah, at the same time, Fuka's over with Chiyu talking to her about her history and then telling her, yeah, Kukuru's trying to learn more about you. She's trying to learn what you go through. And right now she's apparently raising a child. And it was cool because when the doctor came back for a child, Kukuru mentioned this idea that Grandpa at the last day of Gama Gama specified that he wants people to be kinder to living things. And in the respect of the aquarium, it was this idea of the attendants being kinder than anybody. And she equates that to all living things, including humans. And so this is like a turning point for Kukuru in that, at least what she's saying, we're not saying it's a turning point, but she's saying she wants to be kinder to those around her, and that would include Chiyu. So hopefully this is a very strong growing point for her to mature. And again, granted, it's not a huge time jump with that gap between the two cores. Kukuru is changing a lot here, and that she's grown as a person. Whether she practices that like she says she is the big question mark. But I think this is going to be a huge turning point for her, and hopefully we won't have immature Kukuru anymore going forward. Maybe we'll have grown-up big girl Kukuru going forward. Yeah, we have the whole scene with Chiyu bringing the kid to the aquarium. Kukuru confronts her and says, look, we're both the same. We're very much so similar in that we both are aquarium nuts, and we should work together. And yeah, Chiyu still's like, you Gama Gama are so stuffy. And then we have the hatching of the egg, which was really, really, really cute. So nice little follow-up and nice closure to the whole story. And hopefully we, again, kind of get moving forward with the characters going forward. Yeah, solid episode overall. Like I said, I really did want some kind of closure to Chiyu's story. The two of them snapping at each other on a regular basis was kind of annoying. And yeah, granted, like I said before, it technically is Kukuru's fault. She started the whole thing. Now, granted, when Chiyu went in there, she had a snarky attitude, like, these Gama Gama are just nothing. And so it was a little warranted, but either way, Kukuru's position as the director was to be respectful and to, do a job. And Chiyu's thing was to do a job, and they weren't doing their job. None of them were doing their job. So they all started on a bad footing. And like I said, the moment that Kukuru came to Tengara, where she was then now Chiyu was the superior, she should have cleared things up really quickly there. Like, you are in a different position now. Let's clear this stuff up and move forward. But it wouldn't be fun. It wouldn't be dramatic. We wouldn't have an entire episode to work with. So, yeah, good stuff. Really sucks for Chiyu. I wish they were a little more specific about what happened with her relationship. I just assumed it was going to be one of those cases where the father died or something like that. But I don't know. Maybe the father will show up at some point in Tengara and Kukuru will growl at him. And then we'll get this nice little redemption arc for Kukuru. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. But Yeah, that's my thoughts on episode 16 of Aquatope on White Sand. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like down below. Comment, let me know what you thought of the episode. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video if you can. Support us on Patreon if you can. And we definitely appreciate everybody that does. And y'all take care.